All right, I'm back. I'm back. Uh, all right. Well, y'all know how it is with these things. They can get a little congested, and technology is wonderful, but it's also a thing that you got to check out. So, um, right now we've got. I'm back online, I think, and so those of you that are back with me, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this on tonight. Um we're doing check-in Monday, of course, and we always check in to see how things are going and with everybody and see how things are going across the board. It has been a beautiful day here in the ATL. We've had a tremendous day. When I tell you it's been good, it's been a good day. It's been an awesome day here, and I'm just excited. I know there are those that are traveling to the convocation. Okay, I see my YouTube people now, and those that are traveling to the convocation, we pray for their safe travel and that the Lord will bless them as they're going there on the traveling stage and as they're going to travel. We praise God certainly for them. And everything is working now. My phone is ringing. So that means somebody's trying to reach me. All right. So let's good. Hey YouTube. I was worried about y'all. I didn't see y'all earlier, and I think it was listed to go private, so that's probably why I didn't see you. But I see you now, and so now anybody's on here from Facebook, let me know where my Facebook people at. There we go. I see Bishop Gatlin here. Hey, Bishop. All right. So I'm going to get into this tonight. And hey, Pastor. God bless you. Let's do this. Do me a favor tonight. That's right. Like and share. Share with somebody tonight and do those things. And we're going to get right into this. Let me, usually I've got all this together, but sometimes I tell you technology, and I love using technology, but sometimes it can get to be the way it wants to be. And now I see everybody I need to see. All right. So let's get started. I see those that are here. Let's look and see. Sister Austin is here. I see you. Cunningham is here. God bless you. Johnson is here. Mr. Gatlin. Mr. Waller is here. God bless you. I see everyone in. All right. God bless you. I see you tonight. All right, let's jump in this. I want to talk to you tonight about someone believes in you. I want you to get that tonight. Someone believes in you. And I want to say this because I think it's very important for us to talk about this. This came to me this morning, actually, about maybe it was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. My grandson King, he likes to come and jump into bed and tuggle and get real close. And so I don't know if he was talking in his sleep or what he was doing, but I heard him say something and I said, huh? And then I heard him snoring. So I'm thinking, okay, he must be talking in his sleep. And this is what he said. He said, while he was talking, he says, Papa can do it for you. And I stopped. I was like, huh? He said, Papa can do it for you. And he went back to sleep. Now, whoever he was talking to in his dreams, he was telling them that I could do it. And this has been my experience with not only that one grandchild, but with all my grandchildren. For some reason, they believe that Papa can do it. That's what they call me. They believe Papa can do it, from the oldest to this youngest. So when you talk about 11, 8, 6, and 4, they believe that Papa can get it done. And if we're going to the store, they love to go to the store with me because they believe Papa can buy whatever. If something comes on TV, they'll say, Papa, I want that right there. I want you to get me this right there. And they just believe and have confidence that I can get it done. They believe that no matter what it is, if they have something hurting on them, if they get a splinter or whatever it may be, the first person they're coming to is they're coming to Papa. They want to know, Papa, can you get this out? Or Papa, my hand is hurting. Or do you have a Band-Aid? Whatever it may be, they just exemplify that they believe in me. They believe in me. And so when I thought about that, I started thinking about it to the extent that we need to get to the place to understand that somebody believes in you. Sometimes what we need to understand, and I'm not going to be long with this, but sometimes what we need to understand is we don't see in ourselves what others see in us. And we need to get that. Sometimes we don't see in ourselves what others see in us. Some people see in us the ability and everything that we need to do what has been even assigned to us. Sometimes people assign stuff to you, and when they assign it to you, sometimes you're looking like, I don't know why they gave me this, but some people, they see in us what we can't see in ourselves. They see past what we think are flaws, or what we think is our inability to do things, our inability to perform, our inability to work what has been assigned to us, but others see in us when we don't see in ourselves. And we need to understand that that happens a lot when we start looking at it, even in the world today. People are looking, and we sometimes are our worst enemies because we don't believe in ourselves. We don't see what others may see. And sometimes they can see stuff. I've had people in my life that have saw things in me way before I saw it. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know. I didn't believe I could do it. It was not something that I was happy to do at the time, but they saw in me. When I think of my late uncle, he saw in me what you see today as far as preaching and stuff. He saw that in me years ago. And when I went on the road with him at the age of 18, I was 18 when I started traveling with him. I was 16 when I traveled with him the first time, but 18 full time. I started traveling with him, and he saw in me what I didn't see in myself. He saw this ministry. He saw this ability. He saw what I'm doing today. When I was 12 years old, he saw in me the ability for broadcasting. He saw in me the ability to do media. I didn't see it at the time. It wasn't on my mind. I remember him bringing me into. The room, and he was getting ready to do a broadcast, and he said to me, hey, sweetheart. He brought me into a room, and he put a tape recorder in front of me, and he said to me, I want you to do this opening for this radio broadcast. Now, you got to remember, I'm 12 or 13 years old, so I didn't know, and he just told me what I needed to say, and they wrote it down. And so when you see me doing what I'm doing now, you have to understand that that was something he saw in me when I was 12 and 13. I didn't see it. I had no idea that I would be doing this. I had no idea that this would be a part of what I would be doing. But he saw in me what I didn't see in myself. And so when he brought me into the room and said, I want you to do this, I did it. And I remember that day real good. I remember that day just like it was yesterday, when he put that tape recorder in front of me and said, say this here. And I said, this is what I said. The Gene Martin Action Revival broadcast is on the air with Evangelist Gene Martin. In this time of broadcast, you're going to experience a time of preaching, restoration, and went on through that whole thing. That was the start of what I do today. Being in front of the camera, doing stuff. When we go on the road, and he would put me up. Sometimes he would surprise me. He would get whatever notebook I had for preaching, and we would go to church. He would have the organist, Brother Tyrone, to get my book of notes, and he would bring it, and he would say, he would get up and do everything. So I'm thinking he preaching, He said, well, we're getting ready in the moment to hear from my nephew. He's going to be ministering tonight. And then they would hand me my book and say, he's going to be preaching tonight. Another thing he saw was the ability to do things. There was not too many services that I could be with him that I had to pay attention to what he was preaching, because sometimes what people do now and they think it's new, we were doing it way back then, and he would just in the middle of his message pass the mic, and you had to flow from where he left off at, and then you pass it back to him. We would do tag team preaching all the time, and so he saw in me what I didn't see in myself. And sometimes we don't see what others see in us. They have a projection way down the road, and we're only looking at where we are now. That's why we have to be careful that we don't just look at people's flaws and highlight the flaws of people, because you never know where they're going to be. And sometimes when you are a true person that's a visionary, or a true person that's a leader, sometimes you can see things in people that they can't see in themselves. So we have to understand someone somewhere believes in you, all right? Then number 3 is you have to understand that God believes in you, okay? God believes in you. And you got to keep telling yourself that, because sometimes, people will have you thinking that God doesn't, but God does believe in us. And sometimes, again, God believes in us more than we believe in ourselves. He knows what he's invested. He knows what he's given us. So God has put a lot into us. And God watches over, watch this, his investment. He watches over what he's deposited into us. And he's put a lot in us. I know we don't believe that, but God's put so much in us, and he's invested so much in us that what he does is God says, I believe in you. And you got to tell yourself, whatever your name is, tell yourself, God believes in me. He believes in me. Well, how do you prove that? Well, God believed in Moses when he didn't believe in himself. God said, Moses, I'm going to use you to go down, and you're going to speak to Pharaoh, and I want you to tell him to let the people go. But you remember, the Bible talked about Moses being slow of speech. So, in other words, he was a stutterer. He couldn't speak. He was not a great orator. He was not a great person of language and words and all those wonderful words people use. He was a person that he couldn't do what others did. But notice that God believed in him so much that God said, I tell you what, Moses, since you picking somebody, Moses said, well, let Aaron go with me. And God said, all right, I'm going to grant you your request. I'm going to let Aaron go with you. But guess what? I'm not going to talk to Aaron. I ain't speaking to him. Not that I don't believe in him, but the person I'm doing this assignment for and giving this assignment to is you. And you're going to be the one that speaks for the people to be delivered. And so I'm going to speak to you, and then you tell Aaron what I said. Because God says, look, I made everything about. So there's no way that I believe in you. I pick you. I know. When I pick you, I know what was wrong. When I pick you, I know what was the thing that you could or couldn't do. I already knew that, but I believe in you. And that's what we've got to get to know, that God believes in us. That's very important, to know that God believes in us. He believes in you. I've come to tell you tonight, God has confidence and he believes in you. Not only did he believe in Moses, he believed in Jeremiah. He says, Jeremiah, I'm going to get you to do this. I want you to do. And Jeremiah said, Lord, I'm a child. I can't do that. And God said, Jeremiah, don't say you no child. Don't even talk like that. And God had to deal with Jeremiah to let him know that I believe in you. I've got confidence in you. And a lot of us, we've got to get to that place to understand that, especially in this day when you have low self-esteem, when you feel down. And then not only when you feel down, but when other people make you feel less than who you are and what you are, because people are a little shady. I don't care what y'all say. Folk are a little shady. You can tell when folk try to make you beneath them and make you feel that they're less than you are, and like you're not on my level and you don't have this, you don't have that. But I've come to tell you that God believes in you. Everybody has value in some sense or another. Everybody has something where they belong somewhere. And we need to understand that, because a lot of times people will make you feel that I'm on this level because I've got education. And then there's some that don't have education, do the same thing. Then there's some that got money, and then some that don't have money. And I've always said to people that there's one big difference between a lot of people. And I want y'all to get this tonight, because this is going to help you. There's one difference between most people that's doing something, not doing something. And one of the things we need to understand, the thing that somebody that we talk about in church, we say, the reason we getting it done because we got faith. All right. I ain't going to argue with you. Somebody said, I got faith. Our faith. We believe God. I ain't going to argue with you on that. But I'm going to tell you, remember that what I'm about to tell you tonight. Sometimes the only difference between people is money and opportunity. All right. I need y'all to get that. Sometimes the only difference between people is money and opportunity. Some people, if they got the money and have the opportunity, you will be surprised at what comes through what they do. And so a lot of people, I'm gonna say it, some people haven't worked for anything, they just fell over into something. And when they fell over into it, they start thinking, but sometimes the only difference is opportunity. If you get an opportunity, then you take advantage of the opportunity. And sometimes it's finance or money. And sometimes when you notice some people that they may struggle a lot of their lives, but then they come into a great inheritance or money or whatever. And then you start seeing them doing stuff. And you're like, where was that? It was in them all the time. But sometimes that opportunity and that money came along. And so God believes in you. That's why he's instructed you to do what you're doing. And so you need to understand what greater encouragement do you need than to know that God believes in you and God believes in me. What greater thing do you need than to know God believes in you? All right. Then we need to understand that not only does God believe in us, but I want to tell you, it's time for you to start believing in yourself. It's time for you to start believing in yourself. Stop downing yourself. Stop putting yourself down. Stop beating yourself up. Stop being. I've got another book that I'm working on and be coming out called Victim of Self. Stop beating yourself up. Stop jumping on yourself. Stop doing that to yourself. Start believing in yourself. Start believing in you. You got to believe what you got. You've got to believe in yourself, because I know people mix it up with arrogance, but some people are not arrogant. They just believe in themselves. They believe that what God has given them, they know that they use it to the fullest. But then there are some that are arrogant. There are some that are beside themselves, and they think they're a bag of chips and all that. I got you. But now we need to understand that you've got to start believing in yourself. You got to get up with the belief that you're capable of doing it. You got to get up with the belief that you can do certain things, because it works across the board in every area. Sometime in ministry and other places, people will have you feeling that they will honor others and not honor you. They'll make you feel that what you did was nothing, and what the other person did was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And if you don't believe in yourself, it can affect you. I'm telling you, it can affect you in ways. That's why you got to get a belief in yourself. Start believing and stop listening at the chatter. All right, I'm gonna say that again. Stop listening at the chatter. Stop listening at what everyone says. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Some of you I appreciate you watching me tonight and watching me later, but some of you need to come off social media. Well, why you say that, Pastor Martin? Because some of you, that's where you're being defeated at. Because people on social media make you feel that you ain't done nothing because, you know, you sung or preached or whatever. They ain't gave you a like yet. But then somebody will pop something up that's just as off as two left shoes. And everybody thumbs up, liking it. Oh, this is great. And you saying to yourself, really? You know, and sometimes you saying to yourself, not judging, but if they just had a teaspoon full of anointing, they may be okay. That's an old saying, a teaspoonful. And so, and if you don't believe in yourself, and since you're on social media and that makes you feel bad, then nobody comment. You've got to understand, watch this. Thank God for social media, but you've got to understand that your ministry or what God has given you has gone way past likes, thumbs ups, and hearts. If you're basing God's ability and what he's given you on just whether someone likes what you're doing or whether it's going viral or whether you got hundreds of people watching you at the time you're doing it, you're basing your ministry and basing your life and your impact on life on the wrong things. Because I'm here to tell you, there are folk that's making impacts that ain't never been on social media, don't have a page nowhere. You can't find them, but their impact is being felt by thousands of people. So you got to start believing in yourself. Start telling yourself who you are. Believe in what you do. When you do stuff, get up with confidence. Don't allow, I'm going to say this for those of you, especially in ministry now, don't allow audiences and other people to stun you and get you off track on what you have the ability to do and what you've been anointed to do. Stop doing that. Stop letting them throw you off track, because they'll throw you off track. The one scripture talked about the people that will be looking, and it talked about how they would look at you and how things they would sort of, in other words, sort of judge you. And you got to be careful that you don't allow yourself to get thrown off track by that. And you got to believe in yourself. I've been doing this a long time. I believe and know what I've been called to do. Now, whether you believe it or not, I ain't trying to prove that point. You've got to believe in yourself. If whatever, and I'm not just talking about in the pulpit, I'm talking about if you got a business, believe in yourself. If you got a talent, believe in yourself. If you're doing some work, believe in yourself. Show confidence in yourself. Because I want to tell you something, whether you believe it or not, people may not tell you this, but people respond to you according to what they feel from you. If they feel fear from you, if they feel that you feel you inadequate, if you feel certain ways, they pick up on that. And some people, they ride that because they want you to feel, that I'm superior to you. And you can't do that. You got to believe in you. Now, let me do something else, and I'm going to get out of here. You got to understand that, and this is going to help you, believe in yourself, and then understand that if someone receives you, that's good. But if others don't receive you, don't go through no changes. Reason you don't go through no changes is because what God has given you may not be for that group, may not be for that set of people. But he has value in you, and somebody believes in you. God believes in you. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to do what he's called you to do. You got to know you're not, sometimes we put ourselves in these bad places because we think that we're called to everybody, and we're not. Some people, you're not going to reach them. I had, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna close. Of course, I used to preach, you know, many years for the late Bishop G. Patterson, and Bishop Patterson was a person of the word skillfully. Old Testament, New Testament. Bishop could preach a message in 15 minutes and be done. I mean, I've seen him get up. Went to his office. I've been in his office many times on Sunday mornings, and he'll say, can y'all excuse me for a few minutes? Let me jot a few notes down, and he would get his commentary and stuff. Had a little yellow pad, and he would be writing stuff, and then he would go up to the pulpit, and man, he would preach, and I would be like, wow, he did that. I mean, you hear preachers saying, I got to get in this word and I got to study it. And sometimes, preaching, you got to preach. Sometimes you got to study for 2 weeks before you get that message. I'm still working on it. Man, Bishop would go up there and what we call today dump the house. And I'm not talking about emotionally dumping. I'm talking about dump it with word that had you going, wow. And so one day we were out eating, and I asked Bishop this. I said, Bishop, let me ask you a question, just to be honest. I want to know, why do you invite me to preach for you? And he said, well, what do you mean by that? I said, with all this word and the way you preach, why you invite me? I mean, I'm sitting there going, wow. And his response to me did something to me that has been a lasting effect. He said, the reason I bring you in and others, he said, because even though I get up and preach every Sunday, there's some people in my church. Now watch what he said. That even though they're members and come to my church every week, I can't reach them. I'll never really reach them, even though they're listening at what I'm saying. He said, but I bring you in and you may say the same thing I said, but say it a different way. And when you say it, he said, a light bulb goes off in their head and they be like, wow. Sometimes you got to understand God uses people different ways. And don't be offended if someone seems like they got it going on maybe a little more than you. God has confidence in you. He's put you in a place to do the stuff you do for a reason. So do what you do. And stop worrying about what others are doing. Last thing, you've got to understand that people have confidence in you. Stop allowing yourself to feel that no one has confidence in you. You'll be surprised who has confidence in you. They may never tell you, but you are an impact, and you're making an impact on their life. So keep on going. I've met people, I meet them all the time, and they're grown now. And I met people, and they'll come up and tap me on the shoulder and say, are you Pastor Martin? I said, yes. They said, I know you don't know me, but when I was 15, I heard you preach, or when I was 13, or when I was, and they said, and my life was changed by watching you. I've had people to say, I watch you from a distance. I've been watching you for 15, 20 years. I had someone say to me the other day, they said, you don't know, but I was in college and I used to watch your broadcast. I had a broadcast that came on every Saturday night here at 11 p.m. He said, I watch your broadcast every Saturday night while I was in college. Someone else says, I watch you, I would just watch you as you would go and preach, and I would watch the things you would do. You need to understand, somebody has confidence in you. Even though they ain't said nothing to you, they wholeheartedly believe in what you're doing. They believe in you, got confidence in you, and you've got to tell yourself, someone believes in me. And now you got to start believing in yourself. Stop allowing people to make you feel that you're nothing. Stop allowing people to make you feel ain't nothing to you. No. God believes in me. I got to believe in myself. And my greatest examples are my grandkids. They believe that Papa can do it. And you got to know that people believe in you. Don't give up, because if you give up, you're giving up on people. Some people, you're the only lifeline they got to where they're trying to get to. So you got to hang in there. You got to hold on and know that God will bless you. Well, I'm out. I got to get out of here. Thank y'all so much for being here with me tonight. Sorry for the early hiccups, but I'm glad that y'all were able to come and share with me. Still, please do me a favor, like, share with someone this tonight, and just keep your head up, keep looking up, and know that God has confidence in you. He believes in you, and somebody else believes in you. Thank you again for joining me. I want to thank everybody. I see those that are here. Thank you so much for being a part. We'll be back. Tomorrow night is our Bible study. I'm going to be sharing tomorrow night, 7 p.m. You want to join me for Bible study. And as we roll toward Sunday morning, I'll be ministering there at RRC. Well, the Lord bless you and the Lord keep you. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you the next time. May God bless you, and may all God's choice blessings be yours.